they say we've been making joy for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Put your hand in his hand. I just wait on it. I just wait on it.
Come a little closer.
He said, come closer to me. Come closer. Give me your hand and just follow me. I'll take you where you need to go. Got rest for the weary and burdened. Oh, he got it. So put your trust in me. Don't know where else. Come closer to me. Just let your God down to give me your hand and just follow me. It's gonna be alright. Rest for the weary and burdened. You will never rest like this. So put your trust in me. Whoa, whoa, feels so good to trust in Him. Life is just sweeter.
Hey. Yeah. Come closer.
Hey.
What's up, everybody?
hey.
Welcome to
mic.
Thugs, Thinkers, and Theologians. Episode, 15, right?
It's on 14, right?
14?
Yeah, 14.
Episode 14, man. Today's going to be an awesome show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nuts.
I hope you're ready.
The
Get your
room look
popcorn.
different. The room look
Like
different
and
right
share
now.
it.
Get
But
your
before
candy,
we
baby.
get started,
Go get you some licorice.
we need a big, gigantic favor. So right now we have 56 people on.
We gotta have 100.
We need
come on.
56 shares right now.
And come on.
56 shares. It takes about 5 seconds to press share.
Yeah.
Right? So share it now. Give us some
Come
help.
on.
And once you've shared, type in the section done. So we'll know that you've been
Yep.
obedient.
I like that,
right?
Clay.
So
Right.
please share it, like it, for the watch party. Let the world know what's happening here in Baltimore. All right, we have a great show today. We got some amazing guests. Goodness gracious.
boy.
All right, make some.
Can I ask you a question, Clay?
Yes, sir.
What we doing?
How do you know they're amazing when they haven't said anything yet?
Because they're my friends.
You're
That's
my
biased.
friend. I don't think you're
That's
amazing
biased.
every time I see you.
That's
Okay.
biased.
Well, I think they're amazing.
Oh, they got to prove that. They got to
They
prove
You've
are
been my friend for
amazing.
30-some years. I don't call
It's
you
not a
amazing
pulp-
every
it's not
time I
a-
see you.
it's not a
You
pulpit.
should call me
They got to
amazing.
prove this in this war
Yes,
zone.
sir.
Why should you be amazing to me?
I bailed you out of many storm.
A minute.
We don't want.
I met you in my last one.
mini
I
assault.
mean, he
Let's
cried
get back
my
down
shoulder.
topic. We don't want to go down that path.
You done had a many sorrowful
And the crowd
nights.
moves forward, right? So today on the show, live and in living color, we have Dr. Vaughn Clapwood.
Hey, welcome.
Mark, hold on. Let's try it again.
What are you doing, y'all?
He don't have nothing ready, Bismarck.
Bismarck.
You ain't got our sound effects
Here we
ready.
go.
right.
I think you like one of these ladies.
He distracted Saints.
You know,
Yeah, look,
Now I know one is married.
Yeah.
We don't count boyfriends in this.
He got
this
his
segment.
turquoise
Oh, there we
shorts
go.
on.
All right,
Thank you.
we
Clap
got
for
in
it.
the building, Dr. Vaughn.
That's my friend for real, right?
Kristen, right? Not Christine. Because you made that very clear on Facebook, right? Kristen, you're not not Christian.
Not Christian.
Yeah.
You're not a
right.
Christian?
She is a, oh,
I'm
get
a
it.
Christian whose name is Kristen.
There
Come
you
on,
go.
everybody.
Kristen.
Ten.
I've
In
called
the
the
mic,
Get it
woman,
right.
God.
You know what I call her, Clay?
What?
Chrissy.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
ooh.
Sister Chrissy.
Girl, you so
Elder
special.
Chrissy.
You stupid. Girl, you so
Elder
special.
Chrissy. Amen. All right. All right. And we have, man, my sister for real.
That's my sister for real.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Powerful black woman.
Dr. Lisa Wears
Yeah.
in the
Bishop
building.
Designate in the house.
Woo! Yes.
The
Oh,
bishop.
yeah, I'm sorry.
The bishop
So let
designate.
me ask you a
Get it
question.
right.
I don't
So what
understand.
means more to you, being a bishop or being a doctor?
Can a bishop?
Being a
Woman can
mom.
be a bishop.
Wow.
See,
A woman can be a bishop.
Uh-oh.
that's not what we're on the show for. There you
All
go.
right.
I'm back.
Right.
All right.
You
So
listen
with that
to-
being said, and of course our usuals, Roy,
my
Brian,
sister. We good.
Spence, and I am Clay.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all ready for a great show today?
Let's do it.
All right. So how many shares do we have?
We have 79 according to
All
mine.
right. So we need 70,
70,
80.
yeah.
We need 80 shares.
There it is.
80 shares. We need
Come on,
80
y'all.
folk to share it. Share it. Share
No,
it.
he's
Share
saying
it.
that.
Share
He's
it.
saying it because
We
he
need
wants to
80 people to share.
Someone
If
to
you've
share.
shared, oh,
What's
So
wrong?
no, the Dr. Weir already getting. Yes, being a mom. They loving it
Oh,
already.
They love Lisa Wade in
Trying to
this
steal the
town.
show.
They love
Those
her.
niggas and Dr. Lisa
I'm not
Wade.
going.
Right.
I'm not going
Take
against
over our
Lisa.
show.
Lisa blessed my life, man. She done
Yeah, I
had. I
love
preached for her
it.
several
Yeah, I love
times.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
Me and
that's
Lisa
my
gonna be
sister.
friends after this. But these three over here gonna get fired on.
With that being said, please, so right, share. Thank you so much, Maxine, for being obedient.
That my
Thank you,
wife.
Tissa Rogers.
the
All
97,
right, Darius
shorty.
Parks, please share it. Nutty, you watch every week, but do you share it? So share, Nutty.
DJ Nutty.
Cause we share all your DJ stuff.
You a celebrity DJ,
Yes,
man.
you are.
You and Jamal
I'm-
Bryan in that basement.
Having a
What's
basement
going on
party.
in that bit?
What in the world
Carl
kind of
Jones,
preacher?
thank you so much. Kelly
got a
Simmons,
DJ in
thank
the
you.
basement?
Sophia Brown, thank you. J Purple Burke, thank you. J
Thank
Rock, my
you.
main man, thank you. Queen Carter,
We up to 100.
thank you. Unselo, my main man.
up
Your
to
dad
100.
is a beast. Yes, he is.
101.
Thank you so much. Shanika Davis, thank you. Ebony Harris, thank you. Mike P, share it, brother.
Sheldon
Maisie,
Ramsey,
share
let's
it,
go.
please. Don Houston, share it. Kizzy, Keita. Oh, Keita, you know you better share it. You fam.
You see what Leslie just wrote?
What she say?
You are not ready for these strong women.
Who
You
said that?
out your mind.
That's what Leslie Wallace said.
Don't get him in trouble, Leslie.
don't get him in
Dog
trouble.
cordial.
That's
You know
why
what
we
she
ain't
doing?
invite you.
Don't get them to know you be sitting over there.
Maurice, thank you so much. Tanika,
I don't
thank
want
you.
no woman
Paula,
that can pick
thank
up a
you.
car.
Thank you so much,
what you do,
Robin.
Leslie.
Noah Tyson, please share it. The OG, Willie Greenwood, please share it. Stephon Dudley, you part of the family, share it, please. Kendra Kyler, please share it. Leslie,
Antoine.
already. Thank you. Sylvia, oh no, that's not. All right. Thank you so much, y'all. Keep sharing,
Nicole
keep
Crowder,
sharing.
good looking.
Nikki, my fan, I just saw you at the funeral. All right. Thank you so much. All right, let's get started.
Let's go.
All right. So, are we?
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay,
still
cool,
on.
yep.
Yeah, no change.
Please support Boaz Bistro, black owned,
Yeah, my
right
guys.
down the street on
1002.
1002 Light Street. Chef Dave Vaughn's in the building.
Black owned.
Black owned. The food is amazing. What's good?
The salmon, jerk salmon,
Catfish.
The
the,
catfish.
Ziggy Marley
got
pasta.
the Holy Ghost.
And
Boaz
today is Wet
Burger.
Wednesdays.
Today is Wet Wednesdays.
Yes, it
boys.
is.
I don't know about that.
Yes, it is.
Yes, we do. We went last
I already
Wednesday.
say,
play
see,
South
always,
Line.
there he go.
We rode our
Don't
bikes
make me do
down
it.
there last
Wet
week.
Wednesday.
Don't make me do
I
it,
don't know
Clayburn.
about
You was
no
down there
Wet
with me
Wednesday.
last
I was
Wet
not.
Wednesday.
I was not.
Got
I
off
was
your
talking
bike
about-
and you ate a little
I don't
Boaz
know.
burger.
He rode his
I don't
bike.
know
We
about
rode our
that.
bikes down there
Down Wet
to
Wednesdays.
Wet Wednesdays, and we had a
You was
ball.
wet.
And had a nice
We
time.
should invite all them to ride bikes with us on Wednesday. That's what we do. We ride our bikes to Boaz
yeah, that's-
from the
it's
church,
fun.
6 miles.
It's fun.
Yeah, they sure do. I ain't gonna lie. Let's go, Clay.
Win on two sides. You gotta make up your.
When you pay my bills, you
Right.
make it
Right. All right.
pay my
so real quick,
bills.
so Leroy Diet, tell us a little bit about nothing.
Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something that has absolutely nothing to do with nothing.
Oh, boy.
Listen, I want to educate y'all
Waste of my
and
life.
encourage y'all
A waste of 10
with
seconds
this,
of my life.
with this fact that out of all of the letters in the alphabet,
Okay.
there is only one letter that is not in one of the states in the United States.
Okay, well,
There's only one letter. You know what letter that is?
What is it?
What?
Q.
That is true.
I just wanted y'all to know that. But it has absolutely nothing to do with nothing.
Okay.
You've just been educated.
You know what? One day one of y'all gonna be on one of them game shows. They gonna ask you, and
What?
now you know.
Thanks to
So
Pastor
send Leroy
Leroy
Diet
Diet.
a tithe when you win. What do you call whatever the game show is?
I think it's really a shame
Family Feud or something.
for Leroy to be that educated and come up with the dumbest stuff I've ever
All
heard
these
in my
Well, that's
life.
what y'all asked me for.
That's what we asked them for.
You're right. Yo.
That's what y'all asked
That's
me
the
for.
smart
It has
answer then.
absolutely nothing to do with nothing.
That's true.
But just remember that. That
All
Q
right,
is the only
we have
letter.
116 people on. We need 116 shares. Please share it, y'all.
Share
Go.
right
Come
now.
on, y'all.
Can I ask him
Share
a
it.
question before we
Yeah,
start,
of
with your
course,
permission?
Of course.
Have any of y'all ever dated Ed Reed here? Okay, so
Baltimore Ravens.
Oh,
We salute
y'all
you.
had to watch
We
last
salute
week
you.
to understand.
you got to watch last
You gotta
week's
do
show.
what you do to watch that.
Yeah, you gotta watch.
We gotta salute him.
Oh, you understand? So,
I salute you.
And I know you watching, you liar. You lying wonder. I'm pointing to your screen
Lying
right
to
now.
all
You
these
liar.
folk. You go.
You never dated Ed Reed. The Lord showed me that you're a liar, and you messed up our show, and you are never coming back.
And I want to say thank you to Brother Jay who called it and exposed the demon.
My God. When I tell you that was the greatest day of my life last week,
I couldn't breathe.
I can't breathe right now.
All right, Antoine, what's going on in celebrity news? What's going
Let's
on,
do
brother?
it.
Talk to us.
Listen, in the music side, I got to tell y'all, this is crazy right now. Have y'all heard that T.I. has openly challenged 50 Cent?
Cent.
Told him he ain't scared.
He said, I want all the smoke.
He want all
He
of
won a
it.
versus battle immediately.
Wow.
He was getting on the jet last night to
Wow.
fly to 50's birthday party.
Wow.
The only reason he didn't go is because when his homeboys got into it with Yayo yesterday, Tony Yayo. But T.I. called him out on every platform he could.
Wow.
Said 50 don't want it. His catalog can never match his.
Wow.
He got way more hits than 50. He said, and 50 can bring Dre and Eminem. He went too far.
You went too far.
Right.
That's when
That's
T.I.
when he
slipped
bring
off the
everybody.
No, but
That's when he
but
went
the
too far,
2000s, T.I. had a whole bunch of hits. though.
Dr. Dre?
Dr. Dre, brother.
no,
Catalog?
He said he could bring Dre and Eminem.
Catalog and
He went too
Eminem?
But
far.
songs with meaning
Entire
with
catalog?
songs with 50 Cent, not
He don't
their
want it,
not
yo.
their
Yeah,
catalog.
You don't want
Dr.
Dre, yo.
Dre is a special bishop
He's
in the Lord's church.
Dre in pop. He's in country. Like he don't want Dre. So that's the music moment. So
I
stay
love
tuned
it.
to Versus right now. And there's a rumor about Usher's versus Chris Brown.
That's gonna be a good one.
That's gonna be a big one.
That's gonna be a good one.
That's a good one.
Oh.
Usher
We got
versus
a,
Chris.
we got a few over
Yeah.
here.
Yo, and there's a rumor about Jonathan Nelson against Jason Nelson.
That's
there
a
you
good
go.
one. That's
I
a
think
good
you,
one.
No,
I
that's
think
a
you
rumor.
just
Fans
started
should
it.
not be
If it ain't a rumor, we gonna create it right
We'll create
now.
it right now. Jonathan
got-
is much better than Jason.
You done lost. Wait,
I
a
said-
minute.
Yeah,
Hold on,
yeah,
wait a minute.
I
yeah.
said.
You,
Yeah.
you just
Catalog
don't
is
like
concerned.
Jason, yo. I'm learning
No,
about you,
Jason,
yo.
my guy. I'm
No,
gonna
not
take
you,
him.
no,
Clay.
no, no.
You know, Clay said that. Who you say can sing better than
saying
Jason?
He said Smokey Norfolk is better than Jason.
No, he
No.
said what's Bishop
Marvin Sapp.
Dwayne
He said
Simmons'
Marvin
son.
Sapp.
Lord,
He said
He said
Mandela.
Mandela.
Yo,
He said
he'll
Mandela.
kill Jason. Mandela?
You said Mandela killed Jason
Yes,
Nelson.
he will.
Test
Vocally?
him for drugs. yo.
Okay, all right.
Let's go, man.
All right. Speaking of Dr. Dre, so this is our warm
Thank
up.
you, Siobhan.
What are you drinking
So
today?
Dr. Dre,
A dollar store
his
picture.
wife
He got some power punch.
of 24 years,
24 years
is filing for divorce
without
without a prenup.
She wanted no prenup. And she was a
He's
lawyer, right?
worth $800 million.
That means she gets.
The kids are grown.
Yeah.
They're grown out the house living their own lives.
true.
She wants $400 million
Jesus.
in spousal
Half.
support. What do y'all think?
Jesus Christ. Wait a minute.
The kids are grown. They're grown adults.
Let's see what these women got to say about that.
She wants $400 million in spousal support.
I ain't saying she a gold digger, but I ain't. But she ain't messing with no broke. Most women not marrying
Come on,
nobody
y'all.
broke. Let them talk. What do you guys think about what Pastor just asked?
She wants 400. She wants half.
Half.
With grown kids.
400 million.
She ain't record no albums. None of that. She wants half of that money.
Come on here.
No
he
tail
loved
in
her
the
and married her
world
with no
worth
prenup.
$400 million.
I don't know about
24 years.
And then you ladies can tackle it at any given time.
Come on, Chris.
You all have
Come on,
microphones.
right, yeah.
Because I ain't asked y'all.
You got to
no
talk
question.
in the mic too, but you can't.
Well, I think,
Turn Chrissy's mic up.
Yeah, turn our mic up. We need to hear Kristen.
as most women, she probably did assist him with some of the business aspect of what he did. So for me, we know him for his music, but we don't know what she did behind the scenes when it comes to making business moves. So she may be technically entitled by her input. So I don't see what's wrong with it because he made majority of that while they were together and they are one.
So 400 million though?
A lot of
That's
support.
justified?
That's a lot of help.
I mean, she went through a lot. I mean, and she
You-
went through
you
a
would
lot while
want
they
it,
were
wouldn't
together. Huh?
So you want the 400?
400 million?
You want it?
wouldn't you?
If it's you want it.
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Jesus Christ. Doctor?
Dr. Vaughn.
I'm not exactly sure about the amount, but
She should get something.
she's owed something. You talking about 24 years?
So they can't hear her. Cannot hear her. Who y'all can't hear? We want to make sure y'all hear him.
Yeah.
Paula Washington.
Go ahead, Vaughn. Keep talking, Vaughn. He'll fix
So
it.
24 years means that she put in some work while he was putting in work.
Yeah.
I agree.
So she should not have nothing.
I agree.
Now, whether or not the 400 million, that number is right, I would have to be in the situation to know if that number is right. But I think she deserves something. There has to be a portion that she's given because he didn't do it by himself. He might have had the gift and the talent, but she might have been the work behind the talent.
Oh, she got a talent behind
don't- I
behind the
don't-
scenes.
I
She
don't
got a
know that.
talent.
I think it was him. I think,
Lisa, when you write your sermons and you pray and you go out and minister to people, I don't care if I'm your husband. I didn't write the sermon. I just got out the room. I shouldn't get what you
Half.
prepared for.
And I'm gonna keep it 100.
No, I shouldn't get what you
I
prepared
disagree,
for.
Brian. I'm gonna be honest.
No,
if
man.
I got a woman who's riding with me when I ain't got it, who rode with me when I started to get it, she deserves a portion of what I got.
He had it when he married her, though. He had 20.
He didn't have that, though.
He didn't, but he had much more than
That
what she
deal
had.
he
She
got,
had
that
nothing.
$1 billion deal came after they were married. So technically, anything that's after the marriage is together, spousal. They supposed to split that.
Is he fighting to pay it? He doesn't want to pay it?
We don't know yet. This is brand new.
Yeah, last week, right?
Yeah. No, a couple hours. Well, like 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah,
Came
2 days,
out,
okay.
yeah.
I know Michael Jordan didn't argue it. He just gave
Yep,
250
paid it.
million. Said, "Hey, girl, go ahead. I'll see you later."
I mean, because a woman
Hey,
deserves
he had
something.
it.
Danny, huh?
But he had it too.
Yeah, but Dr. Dre
Way
got it.
more.
Yeah,
What
almost a
about
billionaire.
what about all the nights that she had to support him when he didn't have nothing going on, and she had to talk and encourage that man, and that man lost a couple deals and fell through when he was going through with death row.
I don't know if
Like-
she was the type of wife to encourage people because these new wives don't encourage men like that.
Now I beg to
There you
differ
go.
there. Now hold up. Now wait a
Hold on,
minute.
he get-
Now
hold
I
on,
beg to
hold on,
differ
mister.
there because that is not true. We got this misconception that the wives of today don't encourage nor support nor push their husbands. I beg to differ.
I think y'all
Because
want 'em
even
ready-made.
with my caliber, I still push my husband because he's my husband. So I
So
beg
what
to
celebrity
differ.
wife, female
differ.
husband asked for spousal support? Was it Art Benet and
He wanted it was Mary J. Blige too.
Mary J. Blige?
Mary J. Blige can do.
Yeah,
Kendi wanted some,
and
spousal
women were
support from her.
upset with him for asking for
Yep.
support.
He sure
because
did.
He said, "Well, he didn't sing any songs, didn't do any."
But he was her
commercial."
manager.
He was her manager for a
My
minute.
thing is, when it comes to productions and it comes to entertainment, it's so much more to it than just the talent. It's a lot that goes beyond it. Like with me, I do stage plays. It's so many different elements that I need other people. So if I'm married to someone who may do the technical part or do the business part or do the managing part, then we're working together. I may be the face, I may be the name, but you don't know what's behind closed doors.
John Carney said, even if she worked behind the scenes, didn't she benefit during the marriage?
Of course. But they ain't married no more. So she's supposed to struggle
Well,
after they're not together?
I mean, yeah.
He's
if
he's created a standard of living for her.
he created it.
So that means she should
He
still have
earned
that
the money.
standard of living after they're apart. If she's been with for
So
25
why is he
years.
responsible for her lifestyle after they break up?
Because that's what she's accustomed to.
So
No, that's by law.
no,
If-
that's
if
the
you
benefit of
created it-
being with me, right?
Right.
Then when that's over, you don't get. Then you got to find
Now,
another
if she
one.
done smashed the homie, then she gets nothing.
Well, I mean,
I like
That's
what
why
you
he
said,
did
Clay.
it.
That's the benefit of being with me.
yeah.
I
there are
changed your
benefits.
last name. Your last name had no relevance until you married me. My money empowered you. Now that we're leaving, I'm taking my last name and my money.
You can't do that.
I
can't.
don't
That's
know.
not fair. I disagree. As
Roy?
a man, I disagree. I'm
It
not
all
gonna
depends
lie.
on what you have legally and what you have discussed and compromised and concluded together.
Yeah.
Well, the law
Because of your
says
covenant.
But morally,
anything acquired
morally,
during the
is
marriage.
that fair? Morally,
Morally, it's not necessarily
I make it legal.
not
you know,
necessarily
yeah. What the law
fair,
says, yeah.
but it's
She ain't got
discussable.
no money saved up out of 24 years. She ain't put a little money aside.
Her mother
Now
ain't
that's
trained
gonna
her.
be my question.
Her mother ain't
that's-
trained her right.
That's she
My
ain't know how to
grandma-
work it then.
She don't
My
know
mom
how to
pass the
I know mine got some
I
hidden
know.
somewhere.
I know some.
Dr. Will, what do you
my
think,
shoe
Dr.
box.
Will?
It's obvious
I
that mine-
mean, we want to hear from Dr. Will.
Yeah, I
what,
do.
what say you?
I really think this is a matter for the courts
All
to
right.
decide
Okay.
based on the different dynamics we've discussed at the table. We don't know what her role was
Yeah.
in the business. We don't know what her role was as a wife in preparing the environment for him to become the creative genius and mogul that he became.
Okay.
We don't know what she may have put aside personally. A lot of women have put aside their own careers and their own goals and dreams to support their man. So then the marriage doesn't work out and they don't have the man or the goals and accomplishments of their own.
And she's birthed all these kids.
What's more important, Twan, your goals or marriage?
Who you talking about, the woman or the man?
The woman.
Well, like Pastor just said, though, here's the thing. She had goals and dreams when she was with him. If she paused her life to support his life, then after they separate, then she should be able to live her life based off him supporting her.
That's a choice.
Because she put her life on hold for him.
That's a choice.
She chose it for her man.
If you're married to a billionaire, and you don't have to work. You go to any school you want to. He can pay cash for you to go to school. You have all day to study and read. You're like you ain't like some chicks out here today. Got to work 2 jobs and still married and still got to work.
But she got to
right?
raise the kids and keep the house straight.
But
That's a job.
they
But
have
you get-
nannies.
also get a
You're
nanny,
married
yeah,
to
I was
Dr.
gonna
Dre.
say.
You have nannies. She ain't change no diapers unless she wants to. Like a woman who makes it to that level, she has choices.
So because she's fortunate, she shouldn't be accommodated.
No, I mean if she chooses to not go to school, that's on her.
Yeah, but she's making a choice. All her decisions are based off her family. Most women sacrifice more than men.
That's like if the Beatles
I'm
break
sorry.
I
up.
appreciate you.
I'm sorry, y'all. Like I got to keep it 100. Like we go out here and do what we do. We only able to do it because at home is taken care of. Because if it wasn't, we wouldn't be able to do it. We would have to find a way to get home straight. But the reason we made a run, preach, run, sing, travel, move is because when I come home, the house still straight.
That's different.
That's not different. That's what she
It
did.
is.
It's
If
based
Dr.
on
Dre
their
is not the
relationship.
same thing. If Dr.
Women,
Dre-
please.
It's the same
if you're
thing.
married to a billionaire and you're home all day
But even
relaxing,
if you're married to a billionaire, you're still sacrificing something.
what are you sacrificing?
What are you
Your life.
sacrificing?
You're still sacrificing something because
What?
here's the thing: you don't know the dynamics of who he is behind closed doors.
That's true,
and you
too.
don't know what he expects because though they have the money for her to go to school and the opportunity, what if he's a man that wants her to be on his beck and call and not to fulfill those things? Then you come into that segment of what's happening behind closed doors. He may not even want her to pursue that. So she's sacrificing his desires at that moment to fulfill what he is, to be on his beck and call whenever he need her to be.
If you're married to a billionaire,
Talk to me, please. I say.
you do whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do.
Right. There's nothing
but
stopping
it-
you
but
if
it-
you're
No,
married.
That's not
Your
necessarily
husband's
true.
worth 800 million. You have time and you have resources.
What
to
if
do
he's
whatever you
verbally
wanna do.
abusive behind closed doors?
There-
What if
there-
he's hard to get
there-
along
there-
with?
Right
That's
now,
mental
there's
stuff
someone who has
now.
3 kids,
Okay.
a broke ex-husband or a broke husband.
Okay.
She working all day, taking care of kids, going to school at night and getting it done. What's her excuse?
She made a bad choice.
What's her excuse?
Flavor.
Right
wrong
now,
dude.
right now, there's some woman right now in college working a job, own her own company, and taking care of her husband or by herself and getting it done.
You just taking care of her husband.
Or whatever, or not. She's single.
I'm about to say,
I already said,
But she's getting it done.
Okay.
What's her excuse?
What do you mean?
What's her
what's her
excuse?
excuse?
That ain't no excuse.
To not get it done.
She took care. What you
Why are
mean?
you broke? You married to a billionaire.
Because she chose.
By the clothes,
listen,
right.
listen. Her choices.
There
are,
you go.
No, I'm great. I'm
No,
going to
no,
explain
say it
that.
again. Because you
her,
what?
her decisions and
She made her
choices are
decision.
based
Okay.
off the love of her
Okay.
family.
So
So
why?
she will sacrifice herself to make sure her kids and husband is good. You ain't never heard that about a woman?
But you don't know if she's home doing nothing. Like she could be managing his schedule. She could be managing.
Oh yeah, it
his
takes a whole 40 hours.
Oh, it do. With
I
Dr.
get
Dre?
it.
He's
Yeah.
worth
Oh,
800
it
billion.
definitely take more than a few
sure.
hours.
If people
Hey,
take a lot
I'm
of time
sure-
with
I'm
your
sure-
schedule,
I'm
then
sure
you can
that
imagine
consumed her
what
life.
What it take for a Dr. Dre schedule. So you don't know if she's
Yo, she was there
independent
on death row when they were being threatened, their lives were being threatened.
Yeah, I don't believe they're
when
gonna
Suge Knight
divorce.
was trying to kill them boys. She was there.
I believe there's gonna be a change of heart.
I will see. That was a good warm up.
Because most black
I'm
women
ready.
don't leave rich men. So, is she black? Was she black?
No.
Okay. She's mixed up.
Yeah. So
I know the black women I know don't leave rich men. They leave broke men.
So
Yeah.
in 2016,
Like Chrissy, she leaves a broke man. She
only
won't leave a broke man.
29% of African Americans were married, compared to 48% of all other Americans.
Give it again. Give it
Say
again.
it again. Say
In
it again.
2016, only 29% of African Americans were married, compared to 48% of all other Americans.
Okay. Got it.
Right? So half of African Americans have never been married, compared to only 30% of all other Americans. All right, it says here that black women pursue higher education more than black men by a 2-to-1 ratio. But the same is for white women. However, the imbalance is not the same.
Okay.
So white women go to college more than white men too. But,
Okay.
but it's still not the same as for us. All right. So, with that being said,
What's the
question
question?
number 1. Can your partner's past be too messy for marriage? So, meaning
Yes.
if you meet a person who
If she was a porn star,
who
I'm not
was
marrying
gay, or a porn star, or maybe
You got it
had
in your
a,
collection.
She done had,
I'm not married.
She done had too many microphones plugged in her unit.
Blow the trumpet in Zion.
I'm back, y'all. No, you missed me, baby. I'm sorry, Pastor Will. I'm sorry.
Ask the question again, Cleveland.
can your partner's past be too messy for marriage?
That's it depends. To be frank, to be honest, it depends on what we're talking about. You have to give the legislation of the
Okay,
mess you're talking.
so
Yeah,
if,
like
if
what
you meet
type
a
of
nice
mess?
guy or a nice girl who used to be gay, maybe
Wait.
they were promiscuous.
Man, see, I can deal with it.
See, it's a different cultural dynamic. When a woman was gay, it's different from when a man
different
was
That's
gay.
what I'm
enticement.
Yeah, it's a different enticement.
Yeah,
And
so
that's a different.
Uh-oh,
type
Pastor
of
Will
shit.
over there breathing.
Yeah,
I heard it.
I heard
I
no
heard
hump.
can you-
I heard
so
no
can
hump
you-
pump. Blow your
Holy
house
Ghost
down
style.
over there.
Let you
So
go,
can
Pastor.
your partner's past be too messy for marriage?
Come on, Pastor. I heard you over
Can
there.
be.
Well, according to 1 John 1:9,
Here she go.
Teach.
if we confess our sins,
Yeah.
He is faithful and just
He's
to
just.
forgive us our sins
Cleanse
and
us.
to cleanse us
Yeah.
from all unrighteousness.
Yeah.
And so who are we to not forgive whom God has forgiven? The issue is, has the person divulged everything they need to tell you so that you can make a decision, and a prayerful decision, such as Joseph had to when he found out his wife was already pregnant?
Yeah.
You have to decide, is this a mess you want to deal with? Do you have the grace?
That's good.
Yeah, but Joseph, he couldn't win. She was pregnant by the Holy Ghost, so the Holy Ghost out Trump another dude.
I can't go get the Holy Ghost.
I can't go against God.
Her past was messianic.
There is no married man on the planet who has ever lived to come home and say, "Baby, I got her pregnant," but it wasn't me.
It wasn't me, and you
It was the
still
Holy
married.
Ghost.
It was the Holy Ghost.
We
can't use that
Y'all get all
narrative.
kinds
Y'all
of-
get all types of breaks.
You not coming home with no big
Not a woman on this panel can say, "Honey, I'm pregnant by the Holy Ghost."
You better not.
I'm gonna say, "You know that man, didn't you?"
I'm gonna say, go get the Holy Ghost and bring that nigga here. But I got to see him.
But in all seriousness, though, like, should you ask?
Oh, that's the question.
Is it important for you to know your spouse's like sexual history?
I'm gonna give y'all
or
here
your
you go.
partner's sexual history.
Some of y'all on this live been married too many times to have these types of bold comments too.
And that's not of God.
And that's not of God either.
You got the husband you got now, ain't you?
Yeah.
Okay, Pastor Siobhan.
Did you say the one you got now?
That's what I just said, baby.
That's what Jesus said.
Pastor
That's what
Siobhan.
Jesus said.
Good Lord have
Could you
mercy.
marry? No, Kristen. Let's
And
go to
Nikki, I
Kristen.
want you to know that if you weren't my
Kristen.
cousin, I would get you real good for what you said, but that's all right. I'll
Kristen,
look forward
could
to
you
the family.
marry?
No.
No, don't do it, y'all. Wait, let's. Kristen, could you marry a man you know who was outly gay, and then he proposed to you?
Ooh. Let's have a play about that.
Why so much apprehension? Why not
I do believe that people can change. And I believe that in the times that we're living in, people are sexually open to different things.
Okay.
So I'm not able to judge that. However, I believe that if you are with me and I'm shown, I see that this is what you want, and I trust that, I wouldn't necessarily knock it because I have my own past. Not to say that was it,
Right.
but I have my own past. But the thing is, if he was going to cheat on me, he was going to cheat on me with a woman or a man. So that's how I look at it.
Well, I think she would find out at the honeymoon when he's tell her, "Now it's your turn to do me."
And I turn over.
Then you'll know
I'ma
there's been a
turn
difference. There's been a difference.
But
My God.
But that's
My
the
God,
thing.
you
But
too.
that's the thing about not understanding how the
too,
gay
movie.
world works. Everybody's not a bottom.
Come on here, teach the saints. Teach the
Oh,
saints.
Chrissy!
Teach the saints.
What church you go to?
She got a lot of wisdom. She got
All
a
the ins and outs.
lot of
There's a
wisdom.
lot of grace on your life.
Oh, I can marry a bottom, but not a top. Right?
So you can marry.
Y'all said it's not church.
No, I'm asking you a question.
No,
Chrissy said she can marry a bottom.
No, that's not what she said.
No.
You
That's
can
not
marry
what
a
she
top,
said.
but
See,
not a bottom.
I said that's why you have to be careful about joking about being gay because there's a lot of men who identify as gay but have never received.
That's a good point.
Okay.
That's a you just got deep. That's the wrong word.
you're
No
saying
pun
so
intended.
you could marry
An
a
effeminate
top.
man.
If
But not a bottom.
I felt like that it was something real because a relationship is more than just sex. It's friendship. It's chemistry. It's commitment. It's so many different things that into it. So I wouldn't necessarily be all the way closed. And if that is someone that the Lord made clean, if I'm a believer and I believe that God can deliver people from anything, then I am not the one to say He can deliver you from anything but that.
I agree with that.
That's a good
Yeah.
statement.
But
That's a good statement.
But is it important to know their sexual history?
Yeah, I think just
I
for
gotta know it.
disease sake,
Yeah.
I gotta know.
there's some bumps that Proactive can't remove. So I don't want to marry you. And next
permanent
week,
bumps.
I got a little bump say, "Oh, that ain't nothing but a little pimple. It's not going nowhere."
And then all of a sudden she talking about I had that same.
That bliss stacks ain't working.
I recognize that
Sexual
pimple.
history is that, especially in the circles that we're in. In the circles we're in, because people can kind of see different things. I think we need to know that.
You see that same bump on the praise and worship leader bumping on the pastor.
And I think it's important for you to know your spouse's, your spouse's or partner's sexual potential because they may demand more than you're willing to give.
So, Dr. Shivani, I mean, you can't really answer this question. I mean, but if you know, at some point you were dating back then.
But that's where communication comes in.
You gotta
because
talk, yeah.
I believe you have to disclose it. Because I should be the one to choose whether or not.
I agree.
You should not make the decision for me.
Yeah, I agree.
You shouldn't go before me, put on this facade, not disclose it. I think I'm getting one thing, and then once we move on to a next phase, then I figure it out.
That's
no,
good.
Yeah.
give me the opportunity
Full disclosure.
Yeah.
to make a decision,
I
yay
agree.
or nay. Now, once I make the decision, it's on me.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because once I make the decision, I'm responsible
Because
for
you
that.
had all the information to make an informative
But
decision.
the problem is most people don't disclose. Most people do not share information. Most people do not. And
It's
then
on the
most
job
people get
training.
offended when you ask questions.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What you call it, Clay? On the job training.
I mean, most of us, we learn about your partner's sex, like having sex with them.
So let me ask you a question, Leroy Brown. Like for the women's answer, So, what is the deal breaker? What you wouldn't
For my
accept?
wife?
It
The
depends
woman
on the
you're dating.
person.
Let's just say I'm just saying this. Let's back up years now.
okay.
But let's just say you're dating. What is a deal breaker for her? Because if she come and say I was this or I was that, what is the one thing that you will not accept? You say, look, this just ain't gonna work. Like
It would have to be one of y'all. Like if she came to me and said, "Listen,
what if it's all of us?
that's definitely a deal breaker." Hold on, because we've done some crazy things as young guys, and this city is so small. So you have messed with somebody that dated somebody.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's impossible to say you're not gonna mess with somebody that dated somebody you know. But when you marry somebody, I'm too vulnerable to say, I was messing with Leroy for a year.
Well, I couldn't take that.
No, I
ain't gonna lie.
couldn't do it.
You tell me.
I couldn't
me and
marry
Clay
you.
was in a little thing.
Yeah, we had a little thing.
Clay who? You talk about?
My mind is going back to some 20 years ago right now, and I'm almost
There you go.
about to walk out this room
There
right
it
there.
is. There it is.
Oh, wait a minute. No, ain't no hold on, wait a minute. It's just, I think deal breakers for me is that. But I think sometimes you got to mature. You got to grow. Like, you can't. Like, Clay played a bad trick on me 20-some years ago with a guy we all
He
was
already
cool
shaking
with.
his head.
And it was very, very
There we
bad.
go.
And that was a deal breaker there. But you can't penalize nobody for 20 years ago for messing with somebody that you played ball with. I mean, that was then.
Okay.
But I couldn't hang with somebody every day,
Right.
And we share in a common space.
No, I
and then
couldn't
I've
do it.
known you've been
Intimate.
You've done something with my. No, I couldn't do it.
What's yours, Clay? Is one thing that you be like, I just can't. Like, love you, but nah.
Clay's a little different.
That's why I want to hear his
Yeah.
answer.
I don't know. I just, if the person just makes your life better, I think you have to choose what makes your life better. Do you choose? Because there are people who on paper have the perfect relationship, but they don't mesh well together. And then the person, so you may overlook someone who's going to bless your life.
Well, social media has helped us kind of have that perception. We see
Yeah.
people look good
Look good
on
on paper.
on
Right.
social
But
media.
then in
We
real
have
life-
pastors. We have pastor friends who take great pictures,
Yeah.
but have miserable lives.
It is so
And we
hard
know.
to find.
And then you have pastors who don't take great pictures but have great lives.
Yeah.
So you can't always judge.
That's why I say go with what works. So if a person has a past that may not agree with your normal standard, but if that person makes your life better and you make their lives better, then I say the other stuff kind of fades to the side. That's just me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, because there are people who have jaded past, but they mature and they grow, become something different. And you may miss a blessing to your life holding them hostage to what
Nope.
they did 20 years
You know
ago.
what I think too, Clay? I think it's unfair when we don't accept, but they got to. Well,
Yeah.
they have to.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
we
right.
have that
Yes.
expectancy.
Yeah.
Like, we
have that
nuts, y'all.
For men, it's
Like,
different. Yeah.
And then for men, it's we like, man, you knew that was the past. I messed with her years ago. She's still like, but I knew her.
Yeah.
And we just want them to get over that.
Yeah.
Like this
That's
because.
for us, yeah.
That was my sister.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That was my line sister in
Yeah,
college.
yeah.
What do you mean that's nothing?
my
Like,
godmother.
Don't mind
That's
me.
my aunt.
Don't mind me.
excuse me, but get it. It's not fair.
Yeah. So I think that as you become older, being happy it just comes much harder,
That's a good point.
and you value just being happy.
That's very true.
And if someone makes you happy, like go with that, because you may not see it again. When you're young, you think, oh, I'm gonna find somebody else, but then you realize, yo, good people are really hard to find.
You messed up.
Yeah, you messed up. You're like, yo, I
Yeah.
messed up. I should have hung in there.
That's
Yep,
the fish
so-
that got away. Bro.
Yeah. So
Pastor Weir, do you have one that you just wouldn't, that you just couldn't
A
or
deal
couldn't
breaker.
have?
A deal breaker.
I probably do.
Okay.
I would have to take it case by case.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I
Yeah.
do believe in looking beyond the resume.
Yeah.
You know, because we all have things on our
Absolutely.
resume that could disqualify us
Talk about it.
from having this perfect person. Nobody's perfect.
Come on.
And if you were with a perfect person, they wouldn't want you.
Yeah.
So
That's so true.
I think you have to
Wow.
take it case by case.
Yep.
That's a good point too.
Like if the person's worth
Yeah.
the fight.
That's good too.
It's an isolated incident.
Yeah.
And it depends on where you are in
Yeah.
a relationship at that particular time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we make hasty decisions based upon our emotions.
Would you
at that
not
particular
date
moment.
Oprah because of Stedman?
Who what?
Would you
I don't
not
know.
date
I don't
Oprah
know
because of
Stedman at all.
Wait a minute. Oh, I'm dating Oprah, baby.
But the
I don't
whole
know
world
Stedman
knows
at
that,
all.
you know,
Oprah can
you know.
have Stedman 1, 2, 3, and 4. And babe, I'll be number 5 right on this camera. I'm happy.
Yeah,
work it out.
absolutely.
I'll stay
All
in the
right.
guest house.
So how important? Let me get to some good ones. All right. Why are black women single?
We can't answer this.
Black women are the most educated demographic in America. They
We're going
got
to
it
turn to
going
our
on.
panel.
Black girl
Only
magic
one is married at the
poppin'.
panel.
So, what is it, y'all?
I think it's different reasons. It's
All
not
right.
one particular reason why black women are single.
Yeah.
One reason I would say is because the family dynamic is different nowadays, where a lot of times the males are not home, or males are not committed, or males want to be in the streets and being home. Where back in the day, women had to deal with that because they didn't have careers, they didn't have jobs, they wasn't making enough income to survive on their own. But now that the woman is educated and she's able to at least take care of herself, she doesn't have to put herself in situations where she has to be necessarily totally dependent on a man. Not saying that she doesn't want a man, not saying that she doesn't want a family, but she doesn't have to deal with certain things because she has her own. So that could be one part of it. Another part of it that I've realized is that a lot of women have seen a lot of bad situations from their parents. They haven't seen great male role models in their life, so they don't know what to expect. For me, I grew up in a family predominantly with males. So a lot of times my perspective is a lot different because I'm normally the only female. So I think of, when I see men, I think of it differently than females who did not have their father, did not have uncles, did not have brothers. So I have a different take on things. So that's another part. And then, just some being wounded or being afraid or not knowing or not having that great thing. And then the other thing is I tell my father, who is my best friend. Like, I literally can tell my father,
Good man.
anything.
That's good.
But, my father, he had his own issues, that I had to witness and watch as I grow up. And he's taught me to be tough. Chris, you don't need, you could do it, do you whatever. But what I told him is, one thing you taught me how to do, you taught me how to be tough. You taught me how to do things on my own. But you never taught me how to be the wife that you needed.
That's good.
So
Wow.
you taught me how to make sure that a guy knew that I was good. A guy knew that I could always go to my father, but you never really kind of taught me how to be vulnerable for him. So as my older years, I had to learn to soften up a little bit because I'm so used to being around guys that, I was pretty on the outside, but I was really a tomboy. So that was a hard conversation that we had to have. And he was like, well, I didn't want you hurt. I said, yeah, but one day I'm going to be a wife.
Right. That's good. That's good. The
Talk
father has
well.
a lot of influence
Talk
on that.
well.
Yeah, I totally
Well-
agree.
I agree.
Brethren,
Okay.
Here we go.
What's your opinion?
great women
Here we go.
just document in your mind, even locally in this city, who you consider to be a great woman,
Okay.
and tell me the statistics if they're married or single. There is an inevitable confidence that's birthed from great women, and in that confidence, submission to a man is diluted. That's why you have great women on this panel who are absolutely beautiful. They're not filtered. They sit in front of us. They look like they look on their Instagram. But they do not have any type of men to document the type of women that they are. Our mothers were submissive.
Yeah.
Our mothers were wives first, mothers first, careers later. My mother said something to me last night. She ordered a new something for the basement, and she says, your father got me this. Well, my dad been dead for 2 years. My dad is still taking care of my mother, so all of her life, she is now reaping the reward of making sure Lester had food, making sure Lester's clothes was clean, going to church, taking me to school, and still going to work. My mother was not a sit-at-home wife. Yeah. I think we have to argue, can these great women of the 21st century have the submissive posture that our mothers have?
Absolutely.
Well, we don't see it.
Well, let me chime in.
We don't see it.
So listen.
There you go. They do.
I gotta chime in on this one.
That's why we're here.
You're different. You're different.
Let me chime in on this.
Come on, Doc.
Because every morning my husband has breakfast even though I go to work. Every night he has dinner even though I go to work.
Yeah.
I do the cleaning of the clothes. I'm still the submissive wife even though I'm the doctor. I am still the submissive wife at home. So it doesn't matter what career I have. I don't care what preaching schedule. I don't care my work schedule or whatever. Every day he has breakfast. Every day he has lunch that he takes to work. And every day he comes home, he has dinner. Some of my friends ask me, so you're absolutely right. Some of my friends ask me, do you really cook for him every day? I absolutely do. Because in the household that I grew up in, even though my grandmother was a stay-at-home wife, she always said, it is your responsibility to take care of the man God gave you before somebody else takes care of him. So my thing is, I'm always going to do what I feel as though I want to honor him. That's my responsibility. I don't expect him to just go out there and get it on his own. I'm honoring him, and I take pride every time I cook it.
What if
you were raised different?
What if he the cart boy at Walmart?
Said.
Do he still get the same meal every night?
Well, I wouldn't know because he's not a cart boy at Walmart, so I wouldn't know. I didn't marry one of them. I married a man that has a job. I'm not saying no offense to anybody that's a cart boy at Walmart, but I didn't marry one of them.
Right.
So
and you didn't marry no church boy either.
Important?
And I didn't marry. I didn't
So
marry.
are those traditional gender roles important? Women
It depends.
cook, clean,
It varies,
men.
I think it's different. I think it's
It
different.
varies.
And one thing is, let me just say this. You can be a boss woman. You could be very strong and still be submissive.
Thank you.
And here's why.
That's
Because
tough.
we think that when you say she's a strong woman, you automatically think that she has no submissive. First of all, my grandmother is Bishop Grant, which means that I watch her be at the table with nothing but men when women couldn't preach, when women couldn't pastor, when women couldn't do anything. I watched her be a pastor of a church and be very submissive to my grandfather, who we knew that Poppy ran the show. Now, my grandmother was in the face. She was the one that was traveling and preaching and doing all that kind of stuff. But Poppy was the king, and she taught us girls how to be submissive and still do that. And he never had to say, I'm the man, cook me dinner, Like, he was very chill with it. And when she went too far, and she knew that comeback. But for me, I can be very much submissive because, one, submissive is not cooking you dinner. One, submissive is not just
You don't know that.
clean
Chrissy.
it.
But how
it's
do you
not
de-
just clean it.
But can you define
How
that
you
for
can
someone
define it
else?
for someone
Yeah,
else?
like
I agree with her on
Submissiveness
that
is
statement.
different for everybody.
But
though.
Siobhan, you got to
her
be
on that
fair to our audience. You got to tell the people you were married once before.
Yeah.
So much of who you are now is the byproduct of what you learned in the lessons of the first marriage.
But that's not exactly true, though,
not?
because for me, I'm actually a byproduct of what I learned in my household. Okay. Because I watched how my grandmother cared for my grandfather. Though he was the pastor, though he was running things, but then I also watched how he cared for her. My family dynamic was different.
Right.
We're from the South. So when I went home, even when we went to North Carolina, I saw the exact same model. All of his brothers and sisters have been married 50 and 60 years. I saw the same model everywhere that I went. So my dynamic is different.
So you know
So
what?
I can't talk to somebody who was raised in a single family,
Right.
and then I can tell you to expect the same thing that I watched. I am living
So
off
let me
of
ask
what
some of the men.
is
So
instilled.
wait a minute. Let me
So-
say
so
this. Somebody
brothers,
just made a
y'all
good
are
point.
married.
Wait a minute. Don't switch
So-
it yet. Don't switch it yet.
No, I
Somebody
was
just made
the
a good
same
point.
question because we're hearing from them. I want to hear from the men. So do you expect traditional female responsibilities? So
Can I say
I think
this?
it's
a woman who
different,
cooks,
yo.
cleans.
I think it's different.
Can I
Let's
say
be
this?
honest.
As married men, when you chose your wives, did that play a part in it?
I think marriage is the one
did.
thing we did to stop having comparison notes with.
Right.
Because each
Exactly.
couple is going to be different.
It's
Each
different.
stand is going to be
It's a
different.
different, yo.
Each role is going to be different. And
Yeah.
even looking back at my parents' marriage, I still can see specks of dysfunction.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I was
that's
about
what
to say
keep it
that.
100. And my mother's sanctified. The real kind of sanctified. My dad didn't get sanctified till the last 10 years of his life. But I'm talking about, I still even can see specks of dysfunction.
I
My
do too.
father was a male chauvinist.
Exactly.
He lived under that, I do what I want, and everybody else follows my rhythm.
And that's
my
dysfunctional.
mother played that role.
That's dysfunctional.
Right.
Well, that's dysfunction.
It is.
Because the women of the day are not doing that. So
No.
I think we got to
But
stop.
that was their marriage.
Yeah, I think we got to stop
Because-
comparing
Yeah,
notes.
you
Because
can't
back in the
compare.
day,
We gotta stop comparing notes.
that was the posture of most women. They were
Right.
raised to just be that, to be cooks, to be clean, to take care of the children. So when they were raised that way, it's now 2020. These women are not raised the same way they were raised in 1950. So they're saying, wait a minute, I got my own job. I go to work like you do every day. I come back home tired like you do. So you have to be understanding if you want a boss. If you want a little trifling chick who just gonna stay home and run your checkup and wear your credit card out, that's something different. Now she gotta stay in there and clean and cook and be ready when I get home. But if I got a boss has to, I have to respect the fact that for her to be a boss, she had to sacrifice some stuff to be a boss. So that means she's giving up her time, her goal. She's out there getting it like I'm getting the bag. So when she come home and she tired, she ain't got to cook. Uber eat. Let's go.
But you got to communicate your expectancies, and then y'all reach that place of compromise where you are in your relationship.
Right.
It's each isolated incident. Every marriage is not going to be the same.
Yeah.
So if you discuss those things, then it'll all be out on the table. If you don't, that's when you have confusion and chaos.
But I believe I can
Denise,
do both.
Denise said, "What are the men doing, and why they still single? You're curious." The Bible says, "When a man findeth a wife," there are wifey qualities that are inevitable. That's not really relevant in some of the women. They
And
look
it's men
good.
qualities
And
that are
that's
not
sort of the
husband
point. A
material.
lot of men are
Absolutely, but that ain't what the
You know.
Bible say. The Bible say when a man findeth a wife, then he obtains favor from God, which means that the sanctified wife can save the unsanctified husband. There is a grace on the women that's greater than the grace on the men in terms of moving
Well, the
and
dude
maturity.
shouldn't be looking if he ain't ready to take care.
Exactly. So that's my point is these
not-
dudes are not looking to get married. It's just that simple. We are not raising sons to get married. We're raising sons to take over the world, take over the earth, but we're not telling them that the quality of life is who you wake up beside every day. And it's not till we got older we realize our cars don't matter, our watches don't matter. What matters is, do you have somebody beside you who loves you unconditionally?
sick in that
and
hospital.
if you had to go to Walmart and be a box boy, they would still love you.
That's what counts.
That's what counts.
So with that being
agree.
said, how important is a man's income and education?
Yeah, I want to hear that.
Oh. So can he make minimum wage and have a GED? That's my interpretation of the question. So that was my interpretation.
I think that he can for some woman that is okay with that.
Are you?
No, I'm not.
No, my answer, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Let's be frank, we're not in church.
No, we're not.
I'm not okay
Yeah,
with that.
no.
Because here's the thing. You don't have to make what I make, but we have to be able to build.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to make $100,000. I'm not trying to go out there for you to go purchase me a Lexus tomorrow. I'm not unrealistic, but we got to be able to come to the table together and build something.
There has to be a plan in place.
And I think it's individual. Like, you have to go based on your own. Be true to thy own self. Be true. I'm not going to fake it and say, oh, you know what? You working at Walmart, so we going to thrive. Now, I'm over here working this job over here, and I got a business, and I
Right.
got this. But you working at Walmart, so we all right. I'm not going to
But
lie.
they might work to be a manager.
You know why?
I'm not
Because
gonna
you've
lie.
raised enough boys.
I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
You over it.
I am.
Can I ask you a question,
yeah.
Clay?
Thank you,
Yeah.
Doc.
Do you think there's an arrogance in women with children? Like, if you listen to the narrative, women with children, but ain't no good men out here. Do you think the women with children who are looking for a man to come in and be their husband and ultimately be a father figure to the children that were already there, do you think that some of those women need to have a different type of marketing process to get
Marketing.
married? Because
Yeah,
you can't, because you're
I
not a
don't know
single
what the
woman.
question
You're
is.
single. You're not bringing in. If I marry you, you're not. You have nothing but you and your vision, your goal. But if you got 3 and 5 and 6 kids, then that's a whole different dynamic. It's a whole different conversation
Stepdaddy
because they
dynamic.
may not receive me,
Well,
especially if they're older.
I agree. For me, so a lot of people, especially females, a lot of times we bump head because they say I always take up for guys. But for me, from a female perspective, I have issues when a lot of times women are quick to just say, like, they have all these kids and they like, you know, ain't no good men out here and da-da-da-da. And it's like, but you have all these children. So somebody was doing
Somebody was
something
good at some point, baby.
at some point. So my thing is, it's all in perspective. And I do think that single women, speaking from someone who is a single woman, that sometimes the energy that they give off is like no man is going to want to put up with that. It's like you're extremely difficult. You're not used to being around men, so you don't know how to have conversations with men and how how to relate with men and things like that. So I think that, but that's because they don't have that around them. So a lot of times they don't realize that it's not good men out here. It's just that men don't want to deal with all of the baggage that you came with, and that you at some point in life did not make good decisions. That, not knocking anyone who has a lot of children, because children are a blessing, but at the same time, that was a decision each time, like,
and
that you decided to do that.
Chris, a lot of women they are persecuting the present man for a past hurt.
Exactly.
So do women?
That's the baggage.
So are the expectations that black women have for black men too high?
Whoa.
No, I don't think. I think it depends on the woman.
My dad ain't have nothing when my mom married him.
Yeah, you know, a lot of women saying, "I won't marry him. He gotta have a degree like mine,
My dad
or
ain't
a
have
degree. You gotta have
Well, I ain't gonna lie.
a great
If a
job."
woman has worked that hard to build herself, and she got a brand, she got companies, she's worth $300,000. I mean, I understand her saying I got certain standards, and I'm not going backwards. Like, she's past going back, getting the bus boy and trying to raise him and get his credit good. Like, she's done that probably 20 times before. So she's over that. So now she's worked herself to a level, and she has standards that must match. I don't think nothing's wrong with that.
I have nothing wrong with standards. I just think that standards need to be diplomatically suggested. I think that we can tear down the masculinity of a hard-working, trying man because he's not there yet. I'm not saying marry potential, because at one time you got to have the baby, but I'm saying that if I'm talking to my daughter Taylor, I don't want her to cut down someone who's moving in the right direction because he don't have it right now. My first house was off of Greenmount, Cleveland.
Yeah, I remember.
I bought a house in the hood.
I remember.
In the hood.
Yeah.
And she had no problem, even though she never lived in there, because I couldn't take it.
Yeah.
I said, no, I can't bring you in here. She's like, no, I'm ready. Bring it up. We did the rooms, and they stole my microwave out the house, remember?
I remember.
You know what I mean?
Oh, this was good.
Yeah, I mean,
some women only attract projects.
So Brian said last week, he
Ooh,
made a
Lisa
statement
Boobs.
and created a question out of the statement. He said that women should take responsibility for the men they date. Is that true?
Pastor Lee, somebody said they want to hear from you.
Yep.
What do you mean take responsibility?
Last week, someone was
Hold
talking
your mic
about
up,
men are trash, da-da-da-da. And Bishop Martin said pretty much the same premise, where you as a woman are responsible for the men that you date. So if you have postured yourself to attract bum men and you keep dating bums, you can't blame and say men are bums. You gotta blame your dating cycle that you created.
Well, I think that works both ways, though.
Okay.
Either way, whatever you present yourself to be, you tend to attract what you have presented.
Yeah.
And so if you present yourself in a certain way, then you're not going to attract things that do not match what you've presented.
Yeah.
That's both ways, though. Like, I know you just said some women only like projects. Some men only like projects.
That's true,
Yeah,
too.
women
And
need
if a
control.
woman is too
Yeah.
established, they don't want to be bothered because she doesn't need him to do certain things for.
So here's a disclaimer. If all your videos on IG is twerking, you getting a bum.
Then that's what you're going to attract, and then you wonder why you can't attract a husband. A husband doesn't want to see his wife twerking.
Clap on here.
Social.
I say clap on
Give her
here.
that one. Don't want to
Taking
see
too
that.
long.
This man can't find the class.
Cross-eyed. He can't find
God
the
damn, he looked like the
He was
mixstation
drinking
logo.
his joy juice.
Lisa,
Leave him alone.
Lisa, are you penalized for being great? Because wait, let me say this. When I first met you, I asked Leroy. I said, Leroy, do you know Lisa Wade? He said, that's my friend, man. I said, she is gorgeous and she can preach.
Right.
I couldn't handle it. Gorgeous, can preach.
Right.
The average guy you're going to attract is either an old bishop who's probably lost his wife and he wants to relive it, or a young guy who's going to be intimidated by the integrity that you have to walk, because you're a boss. You're a boss in the earth. You're in high demand. You have a great church. Are you penalized, do you think, because you're great?
I would just say yes.
See that?
So
would you rather not be great and
It
be a
is a
wife, or
penalized.
be great?
So
I would rather
good
be
question.
who and what God wants me to be,
Okay.
and let God send me.
Right.
So
That
Lisa,
guy.
it's okay if I call you Lisa on the show?
You can call me.
Okay.
Lisa.
So would a trash man have a chance with you?
It's about character.
Wait a minute, some trash men make like 70,000.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
about
Well,
character.
Who
just
can make
just
100?
You gotta
someone
use
that's
somebody
not
else.
because she's a prestige. it don't matter. You mean, but
you gotta-
normally this
you
is
gotta take the
I
trash
think
man
that
around all your
there's an
bishop brothers.
assumption that a trash man would not be able to walk with a quote unquote great woman.
Yeah.
But I don't believe you should put assumptions on anybody.
That's right.
And you know what, Pastor? I'm gonna say this:
I agree.
the problem with most men is their insecurities are exposed by a great woman.
That's true.
Yeah. Because there are a lot of great men who would see Lisa,
And
see
be
Kristen, and be like,
like,
I ain't got a chance with a girl like
But
that.
that's why you got to get a guy that's not in church. I'm giving you some real talk. You got to stop going after elders and prophets and youth pastors and go after a good guy and watch him not. Because you know what he gonna say? Let me tell you something. Siobhan is been my sister for a long time. Her husband is my guy. I mean, that's my dude. I so admire how he honors and loves Siobhan. Yeah. He ain't emotional, he ain't charismatic, but when she's killing the church, he just stand up and just like, when it's over, he like, man, I hit you up, baby. See you later. And it's just that. I love it.
Because he knows who he is.
She couldn't marry another young preacher who could see. First of all, I'm not marrying no woman who can preach better than me, first of all. So I wouldn't marry none of them. I'm not marrying no woman who can kill out. That's a problem.
Right. You have a
They be
Leroy
like, we don't want to hear. We don't want to hear you. They want to hear Maxine.
Blacked out. He said, "You got a Leroy problem."
Because you know Max can preach much better than Leroy.
Much better than Leroy.
We don't want to hear Leroy today. We want to hear Max. You're not doing it to me.
And I'm not mad.
And we know she grow past over the house.
Let me help y'all.
We know who the senior pastor is.
That check coming to the same house, baby.
Because you know who you are.
Go ahead.
You don't even matter.
I know who I am, baby. Y'all can call it all
Hey,
day.
yo, Clay, you know what? You know what we messed up at? My dad told me this before he died. My dad told me great men are always attracted to fans and not great women. He said, and that's why great men mess up. Because they don't allow the strong women to give them the... See, strong women are never going to be your fan.
good,
Listen,
Pastor,
a strong woman
good.
can never be your fan. She's never going to say, oh my God, you killed today. She's going to say something like, you know, you said too much today. That went too far. You might
Like
want to
you was
remove
good, but
yourself.
you could've.
You could do that. And that's my truth.
See, that
That's
bugs
my
me out,
truth.
though. Like that narrative that church men aren't good. Like you got to go out to church to find a good man. That's silly. You know what I mean? I think that
You don't want my comment.
Oh, you don't want mine either.
You don't
I can
want
look
my
at my
comment.
church right now and tell you that
Ain't too many real men left in the church.
I wouldn't say that.
Clay, it ain't a lot.
Michael Watson, you're not
It ain't a
married,
lot.
so
I
how do
wouldn't
you
be-
know it works both ways?
If you got
You've
100
never
of
been
them,
married.
100 of them, 40 of them ain't right.
Yeah, so it's 2:00, so we open the phone lines. So how important is spirituality
You got
in
a
dating?
all male choir.
Date any women?
How important is spirituality?
Yeah. Because Bishop, you just suggested that she go outside the household of faith to find
Well, here's
a
the
husband.
thing. My husband is not in the church.
All right.
And when I was dating him, I wasn't dating his spirit. I was trying to learn the man.
Okay.
And so I took time to learn him. And as we grew together, God saved him. For a sanctified wife sanctifies a husband. So as we grew together, God saved him. But when we were dating, I'm not gonna lie to you. We weren't talking
Tell
about
us how y'all met, though. How
Tell
did that
it. Tell
happen?
it. Y'all want to talk about
Don't tell
what?
the
Doctor?
secrets.
How y'all
Talk
met?
about the spirit.
So my husband is my brother's best friend.
Okay. Okay.
And so that's how I've known him for years.
Okay.
And when things transpired, he asked me on the day. I thought he was joking because he's a jokester.
Okay.
So I was like, "Why are you joking all the time?"
Okay.
And he was like, "No." And his statement was, "Have you ever thought that someone closer to you cared more about you than those you were seeking?"
Jeez.
Well, on that point,
That's-
1-855.
That's the word of the Say, someone, man, listen.
All he said
6499.
was, "Have you ever thought that someone closer to you cared more about you than those that you were seeking?"
I can remember the time
like
when y'all
good.
started dating, too.
That's
I can
good.
remember.
Is there a war on masculinity, or are the male stereotypes justified?
I think
It
it is
just
a war.
it's both.
I
Chris
think
Brown
it's a
said
war.
black men don't cheat. That's what he said.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
I think it is
The
a war
dumbest
on
statement I've ever heard.
masculinity, especially with the female future thing.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to female future.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I think the future is not female. The future is family. I
Okay.
think that men being back in place, women being in their rightful place, and understanding that it's not a battle over who has more power, but it's about understanding partnership and building. We can't build anything if we're fighting over who should put this brick up first.
Yeah.
But that's
I
good.
agree.
That's good.
So
Good.
I didn't
So
know you
why
were
can't
capable of saying
black
something
men
like
and
Y'all
black
gotta
women
stop
work
throwing
together?
the bricks at us.
There you go.
that. No, that was great. That was a great. That was a great statement.
So what's impeding black men? Because the idea is that the uprising of black women and black girl magic and black power can in some way emasculate black men. Because if she's the breadwinner, if she's the leading force in the household, then the man has to kind of
Clay,
take a step back.
it goes back to what I said
So
earlier.
it's possible
You got
for
to know
them to
who you
coexist.
are. As a man, if I'm making 200,000 and she making 500,000, that's 700,000. I don't care how you look at it.
That's tough.
So I'm good.
Yeah.
The reason I'm good is because I'm not intimidated by her making that money. Because at the end of the day, she still need what I got. I must be giving her something that is making her whole for her to date me and marry me. So if I know who I am, I'm not worried about the money she make. Because there's other areas of my life that I fulfill that the money won't.
I think Clay made a great point to me the other day on the phone. There's some necessary things that a man must do before he can be a great husband, and that means he has to first establish something on his own. He cannot just jump from his mother's living room to the house of a wife and be a good provider and or protector. He has to establish some content that would make that woman be able to trust him. Yeah. I think the problem is that most women are marrying selfish guys. Yeah. And that's the truth. That's the bottom
Because they're settling now.
Because they're settling. But even those who haven't settled, even me per se, I'll put myself on that when I first got married, I didn't know nothing about being no husband. I didn't know about providing.
Isn't marriage settling itself?
Ooh,
No,
that's
I don't think
tough.
marriage is
You
settling.
don't think so? Yeah.
No.
It's a decision.
Vaughn, unless you love your husband, Brian, you love your spouses, Leroy, right? They are not the best at everything. So you dated probably a prettier girl than your spouse.
Absolutely.
In some point in your life, you probably dated a more successful girl than your spouse. So you found the girl that she wasn't the best at this, best at that, but you settled for areas that you weren't happy with to gain the overall person.
Because certain areas
So
meant more than
isn't that
others.
with marriage? Because I think people are missing the beauty of America. They're trying to find the perfect person.
Ain't no
Well, you're
perfect
never
person.
going to find the
Yeah,
perfect
so
person.
you settle with
marriage
some
is
marriages.
about compromise. Marriage is about covenant. Marriage is about commitment. But then marriage is about partnership. So which means it's not always going to be balanced. So sometimes somebody going to be carrying more than the other. It may switch in a couple of years and the roles
Right.
may switch. Then one of the times y'all may be equal. You're always going to be at a compromise during the course of life in marriage. So I wouldn't necessarily say settling,
Okay.
but I would say that there's always going to be a compromise.
Okay.
It's always going to be a compromise.
I wouldn't say settle because for me, I don't feel like I settle. That's just my opinion. I don't feel like I settle for anything.
That's the substitute
I
word.
feel
I
I
like
feel as though that I'm fulfilled. I fulfilled
There you
and
go.
I feel fulfilled in my partner and my husband, but I still realize that we are both imperfect people. So we're always going to be compromising.
Yeah.
You're going
In
to
order to
settle.
stay fulfilled,
Yeah.
and in order to stay
And you
fulfilled,
can't
we always
do it.
gonna
You
be
can't do it without settling.
You're going to settle.
Yeah,
Because
Because
you
pride,
have to-
yeah,
right.
you got to knock something down about yourself to
to.
figure out
Something's
how to
gonna
figure out to
be-
do this right. Yeah.
It's a guy that made your toes curl better than the guy that you're with.
But see,
But-
What do you
some
feel about that,
people-
Chrissy?
He's a
when
good
you
man.
were dating the guy that made your toes curl better than the guy that you're with, how was that for you?
Do you remember when your
Do you
toes
remember?
curled?
Do you remember that? I know you think about it. I know you're very integral. We're not trying to. These are my friends of over 25 years, so we're not. This is not like we trying to pitch it out. I'm just giving some content to what Pastor just said.
So I'm gonna put it real.
What if this
real-
new guy can't make your toes curl?
Yeah, but he got good credit.
But he got good credit. He loves
He
God.
loves
He
you.
ain't cheating on you.
He take good care of you, all that kind of
He
stuff.
can make
but
a wonderful meatloaf.
in the bedroom, he just may be a little.
But he is a meatloaf.
And he gives you some
But in the
meatloaf.
But he
bedroom,
is
he
a
may not be
meatloaf.
as astute as some of his predecessors.
I'm ready to make
And
you black
there are
out.
some women right
But
now
he got a small meatloaf.
who are marrying. But he's-
I am delivered.
Lord, I thank you for Jesus. I'm gonna let the whole shower. When I tell you, I just felt another world come over me.
Yes,
So what
sir.
do you choose? The
I
meatloaf?
pray for all y'all dealing with a small meatloaf in the land.
Hey. Never mind. I talked to them after we got the show.
Yeah, we got
Because
to.
everybody ain't no Whopper. Now y'all take it easy. There's some great noodles out here. And you got to learn how to work with what God gave you.
Put your chopstick back in the box.
You got to learn to work with what God gave you. Hallelujah. And y'all don't lie to me. Hold my man.
That's
It's a
what
Whopper.
marriage
Stop
is
it.
about.
You selling it
Stop
out there.
it. You selling.
You better believe it.
Y'all got
better
special
believe it.
positions.
But
You got to get
here's
the
the
right
thing.
angle. You know that's ain't for you.
But
Come on, bring us in. Come on, Bishop.
let's come back to the altar now. Let's come back to the altar now.
Come on, Bishop.
Lord, I love God.
It's about what do you need, though.
Yeah, come on,
And
Bishop.
you know, I think a lot of times, especially when we're young, we do like Jacob and we want the Rachel, when in fact the weight of his destiny was tied to Leah.
Yeah.
But she wasn't necessarily the one that pleased his flesh.
Cricket eye.
But had there not been a Jacob and Leah, we wouldn't
Don't you
have a
laugh.
Jesus.
Doc
Come on
tried to
now.
laugh
You don't know
at
what
you.
she can do with that crooked eye.
Siobhan gets after you, bro.
Gotta work with it.
Leroy said crooked eye. And Siobhan look at you and bust out laughing.
So
I see
think-
you, sis.
I I think part of it is we got to know who we are and what we need before we call ourselves binding our life to somebody else. And some of us learned that the hard way. But, you know, a lot of folks say, this is my better half. You don't want half a person. Right. You want two whole people. It's two becoming one.
Right.
And so what are the things that you actually need as opposed to the things you were chasing? Do you need a good one-night stand? Then those other things will matter. Or do you need a mate who's going to flow with you and walk with you through this thing called life?
Absolutely. Listen, y'all, it is 2:12. We have about 18 minutes to go. Yeah. Call in. I see y'all commenting like crazy. They are. Right? I want you to call in asking for a friend. Call in asking for a friend.
It's going to be hard to marry Dr. Weir.
Listen.
She is just too profound, prolific, integral, and smart. Do you have a little slice of ratchet in you? Just a little slice of right. I just want to know for some people who might be on here who may think you like
and ladies, some things you only save. Am I right about
How you
it?
doing? Amen. Some things you don't expose.
I like that. We need to know that's there before we seal the deal. We gotta.
No, but that you only show that to the individual. You don't show.
But you know what's crazy? Because I was watching a millennial forum. And they were talking about dating in the church and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of them overwhelmingly agreed that it is irresponsible to not have sex with your partner before marriage.
I remember that. You're right, Clay. Yeah. We talked about that.
Yep. And it was saying it's irresponsible not to live with your spouse before you marry them. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on that?
Pastor, don't answer this.
And the crowd goes silent.
I don't believe. I don't teach it. I don't believe in it. I don't believe it. I don't teach it. I don't preach it. But do I understand the sentiment of it? Absolutely. But I believe we give legality to stuff that we know could do greater damage in the end if we were ever to endorse such things. Yeah. But do I understand the context of it? I do. But I wouldn't preach it or teach it.
Listen, how can you marry someone
that you've never been
and live and you don't know how they pay bills?
Because truth be told,
but there are some people that have been living together for years, and when they finally decide to get married, it doesn't work.
But here's my thing. A lot of women have said this too. They've said they married somebody, like you just said, using that example, where they were dating, didn't have sex, and then he couldn't please them sexually when they got married. Yeah. So then that's a deal breaker for that woman. Yeah. Because now she's saying, I can't go the rest 30 years like this.
The rest of my life, feeling unfulfilled.
So then you have to address that person and say, well, sex means a lot to that individual, evidently.
So conversation.
That should have been a conversation beforehand.
You can't talk that. You got to experience that. You can't talk that.
But you can talk about the degree of your expectancy.
There you go. Thank you. You say the right thing, baby.
You get motivated when you get an experience. You say,
I don't know what just happened, baby. Give me a little time.
I didn't mean for that.
I wasn't ready. So quick. I gotta take my pill. I gotta go to the gas station.
We get a bag of Rhino.
I need a Rhino. Rhino 2.
Blow the trumpet. Blow the trumpet in Zion.
Y'all sit here trying to be deep. Y'all sit here trying to be wonderful, but I know you. I know you. I would hate for us to go get wonderful tuxedos, nice Louis Vuitton shoes, and stand with our sister Dr. Weir in a wedding and give her money and throw flowers and do line dances, and then 3 months when she come back off her honeymoon, she say, brothers, he had a small meatloaf.
The meatloaf was undone.
Brothers, I preach longer than that. And Lisa don't preach long. Lisa's never come to my church and preach more than an hour. Shavonna come to my church and preach an hour and a half.
You're lying. You're lying. Why you lying? Oh my goodness, Lisa, you're gonna lie. You're gonna lie on this live. You definitely preach longer than
I do. You know, she's deliverance preacher. She got to lay hands and prophesy. You know.
Yeah, you talking about a whole package, baby. You ain't talking about no little.
Oh, God. You got to call. All right.
This is
855-493-6499 is asking for a friend. What we got? They gone?
All right, call back, y'all. So call in. We having a good conversation, man. Great dialogue.
Chrissy, if you don't get married, will you be fulfilled or you feel like your life was irrelevant? Good question.
I would be fulfilled.
Single for the rest of your life?
I think it's twofold for me because I did get to a point where I would say that because I am career driven, that I would be okay because I didn't want to be in a wrong marriage. Like I didn't want to get married just for the sake of marrying. So I do feel that kind of fulfillment. However, I am human, so I do have other needs that we're taught comes with marriage. But I would
There you go, Mom.
So I
just
think
get her a side of meatloaf from Boston Market.
She just want the size.
Mini meatloaf.
I don't know why I'm gonna go.
So it's. So I guess the reality is that ladies, you may have to possibly date beneath your income level. You may have to date
That's scary
beneath
for
your, possibly because
That's
a lot
scary
of
to
men
date
are.
beneath your income.
No, it's not scary.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, so that may be a possibility for a lot of black women because you guys are so successful. The black girl magic is popping, but
I don't
to
think
find a
that
guy
we-
who's heterosexual, who may not have had a unique past, it may be hard for you to find that kind of guy, or for that guy to find you.
I don't think that we're intimidated by less income.
Okay.
I think our issue mainly is the effort that you put towards this family and growing us. I think if you really talk to most females, a lot of our issues is that our men are not home. They're building homes with other women while they're still building with us. So I think that it's really not necessarily.
She just crossed the line.
It's not
I've been waiting all day for
necessarily.
you to cross that line.
Civil.
Oh.
Here she comes.
If you stayed home and you kept the money here and we were able to build and you wasn't intimidated by what I have, first of all, I am your helper. Right. Which means whatever God has called you here to do in purpose in life, I help bring out that in you because I am your helper. So I make that better. So in the beginning, yes, you may make less than me, but if we work together on those things and those attributes and those career dreams and stuff that you have, that table very much may flip.
Because sometimes a man needs a woman to push him.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they got the potential. They have it
I
in
agree.
them. They got these dreams. They got these business ideas. But sometimes there are some men who need to get with that helpmate who says, baby, I see your dream, but this is how we can accomplish it.
Yep.
But
I'm going to be the administrator.
And even sometimes pushing means taking you down a little bit.
But
Sometimes say like,
realistically,
yeah.
is it possible for a woman to dominate her man? How can I say this in a nice way? Is it possible for a woman to remain humble if she's the primary breadwinner?
I've not seen.
Because we've all been married for a very long time, and
not seen-
you've been married for a long time. You've had one of them arguments, one of them good ones, them good
Oh,
ones.
yeah, one of them good ones.
And we all cutting each other, and I can't imagine, her saying,
Her saying,
"The
well, I'll
house
say
is
all the
my
good.
name."
Get out
This
of
is
this.
my house.
Yeah,
Get
right,
out
I
of
can-
my house. Get your stuff out of my house.
Oh, yeah.
We'll never.
You couldn't live here without me.
Yeah,
Can
you
you
couldn't.
imagine?
Yeah, you couldn't.
So is that a real? Is it real? A real dynamic? Because most men don't do that. Because
Women were
it's
not
corny
created
for a
to
man say
provide
that.
for men. That's why it's not a dynamic. Women were not created to provide for a man. And if you're any man is letting a woman take care of him, you have put yourself in the position to be disrespected.
And
Because
emasculated.
she cannot love you if she's taking care of you. She can't.
Because in the back of her mind,
in the back
she's
of her
saying,
mind,
this nigga is a bum.
is a
Well,
bum for
you're
real.
more of like a child.
You're a child, and whenever I'm ready to get out of here, I'm gonna put you out of my house and do what I want to do, and you're gonna be somewhere.
or she just
suicidal.
going to go cheat.
And that's what they do.
But that's what women went through for years. Like women went through that same thing of when they wasn't able to be the breadwinner, they didn't have certain options.
Chrissy,
So
we're not
they
equal,
ha-
sis.
But I'm
Women and
saying-
men are not equal. We got to stop saying that's what women went through. You are the lesser,
But they did go through that.
not
We-
the weaker.
but we did
You're the
go
lesser.
through that.
It does not erase what they went through. I don't agree with that. I don't.
But
I
why is
disagree.
it intimidating for a woman to have more credentials?
Just your voice alone is intimidating. I mean, how you said that? Why is it intimidating?
But see, he said
for a woman
intimidation for
to
me.
have-
I'm looking at her
I'm
like,
intimidated. I
girl,
got to
you
talk to
know
my
you-
brother. Girl, you know you special. I can hear you call your husband that. Honey, come home. I have something for you when you get in the door. That's intimidating.
I have some
And
gravy
it's
for
gonna
your
bless your
meatloaf.
life.
I got on my red fishnets in the name of Jesus.
I got some gravy for your
I just made a
meatloaf.
brand new bracelet. They'll go around my waist.
I have nothing on but a bracelet
Put
when you
on
come
your
home.
red dress.
Come
That's
home.
intimidating.
Can
Come
you go
home to the
back
house of treasures.
What you mean by lesser?
I believe the Bible is very clear on the equality of God created man, and the woman is under that grace. It's not to be argued.
And
we're not
why is
saying
it a
we're
hard
better.
thing for women
We're not
right
saying
now?
we're better, but you are not equal to men. Get me, hit me. You're not. I didn't say you were weaker.
Get 'em,
I didn't say
y'all.
you were dumber. I said you're not
The Bible says you are the weaker link in some narratives.
Meaning more delicate.
Meaning more delicate, but you are not the same as a man. You are not shoulder to shoulder with your husband.
I gotta agree.
You are not shoulder to shoulder with your husband.
agree.
Danielle is not shoulder to shoulder with Clay. Max, you are not shoulder to shoulder. I'm not saying he gets to slap you, beat you, disrespect
not
you.
like that,
I'm
but-
not saying he gets to kick you and R. Kelly you in the basement. I'm saying you are not. And if women would walk into that, the Bible says husbands love your wives as Christ loved the church, right? So we're supposed to give the ultimate perception of how love is supposed to be demonstrated. That is a revelation of how God sees the household.
But I believe, Brian, I'll be honest. I
If we
believe
get
a woman can
foreclosed
walk
on-
shoulder to shoulder and
I don't
still
believe
be
that.
the
It's
left.
not in
It's
the
not-
Bible.
It's a
It's the
position.
same- that-
Wait a minute.
No, he
Let me
created
explain what I'm
us
saying.
shoulder
We
to
get
shoulder.
it. She can still. She's my partner.
If we
Yes.
if we
So she's not
become
beneath
Male
me.
and female created he them.
if our household,
She's not beneath
if
me.
our houses, meaning where we live, if we are foreclosed on, no one will blame Danielle.
It's Clay's
It'll
fault.
all be on me, all of it.
Okay.
They'll feel sorry for her and talk bad about me. So we're not
We're
equal.
not
So
equal.
if we don't share the
But if
trauma,
the kids,
then we
if
can't
the
share.
kids are in the street dirty and looking bad, who's that on?
The mother.
They gonna say the mother
Okay,
take
come
care of
on,
the
y'all.
mother
We gotta
can say-
keep it
the mother
100.
can say he wasn't a provider.
But
Absolutely.
technically, a lot of that is what we put on from society. Because if you go back to Proverbs 31, the woman in that scripture was a businesswoman who did things great for her house. So if they lost the house, it was not because just the man didn't do. It's what they did collectively because they are in this together. So
I
it
agree.
wasn't him just back in the day. Biblically, the woman did work. The work just may have been different, but she did work, and she was a businesswoman. And that's actually the
Why
thing.
does the Bible says wives submit?
But submissive
yourselves
doesn't
to-
mean beneath.
Well, what does it mean?
Submissive means just respect your
It means-
head.
That's what I'm saying.
Submission.
No, no, no.
Submission is controlled power.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean I'm less. It means I'm controlling my power and submitting my power
To yours.
to
To
your
You
power.
just said it.
But it doesn't mean my power.
Give it out there.
It's still the
Give it a
same
hand
thing,
clap.
Lisa.
I don't
Put a
Marcus-
bow on it. Said the same thing I said.
No,
I know you about to
it's not
preach
the
for full
same
gospel
thing.
convocation. I know you get ready. He said the same thing we just said.
It's not the same
What?
thing
It
because
is.
you said
Why?
they beneath. She said that
I
she's
didn't
not.
say beneath.
Why do you
did.
struggle with the
You said
word
they can't walk
submission?
shoulder to
Why-
shoulder. No,
why is it
I-
so hard?
I said you
I had a
cannot
couple
walk
tell
shoulder to
me-
shoulder.
I had a couple tell me take that out the marriage vows when I did their wedding.
I don't have a
Jesus.
problem with the word submission because it is controlled power. Right. So that means I'm submitting my power to his power. I'm not going to be with a man who's not powerful. And so it does not offend me.
Well, the Bible says man is the head of woman. It doesn't even say your man specifically.
We
all man is the head of woman. That's what the Bible says.
Okay, a head.
The Bible don't say
No, a
your
head
man
don't
is the head of the
mean-
woman.
No.
The Bible says
No.
man.
No.
So every man
Do you
is
know
the
that
head
God
of
is
a
not
woman.
always talking in gender?
No.
I know that, but I just read the Bible from my traditional Pentecostal concept.
Exactly how you sound.
I was waiting for Leroy.
I don't care what none of y'all say.
I thought Leroy was going to
We
get
was
him.
gonna get him.
Right.
I let her have it.
I said Leroy let this pass.
I let him talk his PAW.
That's what my bishop told me. Follow the leader, my leader.
That is so funny, man.
1-855-493-6499.
So would you guys date outside of your race? Well, of course not. You know, Dr. Vaughn.
We also have another young lady in here who's not being seen, but
That's
she's
Tam.
Tam is here. She's our homegirl.
Tam
now.
is
That's
here with
Kristen's
us.
bodyguard.
That's Kristen's
Yeah.
bodyguard.
She
It's
came
my
in case
best
something
friend.
pop
Kristen
off.
thought I was going to say something
her best friend.
derogatory, and Tam came here with knives and mace and all this stuff. Just brought a bad
I got a
vibe.
big old bag. We don't know what's in the bag.
We don't know what's on that. She got on hoop earrings. You know she ready to fight.
Damn, them earrings at
Girl
least
and
two
Brian
pairs.
Martin, get out of line. Hit this nigga now.
I need an around the
Y'all
way.
are crazy. That's so funny, man. But so would you guys date outside your marriage? Outside of.
Damn, what just happened? Did you hear what I
I meant date outside of your race. I'm sorry.
in the world?
Would you guys
Are
date
you all right
outside
over
of
there?
your
What's in that
race?
bottle?
That's a
What's in that
Freudian
bottle?
slip.
Hold on, wait a minute.
That's a little Freudian slip.
Come on,
baby.
come on,
yeah.
please check that bottle. What's in that
I'm so sorry.
I wanna know
So
if you-
what do you guys
you
date
wanna play with some
outside
meatloaf on the side?
of your race?
Look like a little vodka instead of water, baby.
There you go. There you
So
go.
outside
Old
of your
Robin
race,
Hood,
would
steal
you
from the
date
rich and give to
outside
the
of your
poor.
race?
I
You
would
messed
date
up.
outside my race,
would?
but not outside my faith.
Oh, okay.
Ah, yeah.
That's a good one. I like that. That was a good put.
What is your faith again? Because I've never really understood what you believe.
Oh, that's a little slide.
There we go.
Oh, that's a slide right there.
I wasn't trying to be funny, but I don't.
No, you're really trying to be funny.
okay, I didn't-
Yeah, you're really trying
All right,
to
we
be
got a
funny.
phone call. We got a caller.
Only saints
Asking
really
for a
do that.
friend. What's your name? Asking for a friend.
Let's go.
Hi, who's this?
It's John.
Talk. That sound like somebody else, but go ahead. Say your name
Boy,
again.
John.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Talk
John.
to us. What you got to say?
All right, here goes. Two things. One, Bishop Martin, I understand what you said about Pastor Will. Yeah, I felt that way too the first time I saw it too.
Ooh, wait a minute. We just turned to a dating show.
Pastor
Wait a minute,
Will.
John. We got to change the show.
I ain't calling for that.
Wait a minute,
I just
John.
wanted to make that known. But I felt that too. But the
No,
young
you-
lady, Christy, I just have a question for her.
Okay.
In reference to, she said she has all brothers. Does she feel how having all brothers has affected her not being married?
Yes.
Think there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. Because like I said, my brothers, you taught me how to think, and I was exposed. So I had seen womanizers, I seen great guys, I seen a lot of things, but it definitely did have a major play in why I was single, because my tolerance, I had no fight for relationships, because I knew what my brothers was like. You don't have to deal with that. You great. You don't have that. So that was always my mentality. But I had to realize that if I was going to be in a relationship, just because I have my issues, so I have to learn to fight as well. And so that was one of the things that I had to learn.
Good question, brother.
Thank you. Thanks so
We
much.
got to go back to your original.
John, are you still there? John.
I'm still here.
So tell us once again what did you feel when you first saw Pastor Leah?
Pastor Lisa Wee.
Wait, hold on.
Lisa.
Look, brother, we are her big brothers.
We are big
What's your
brothers.
credit score?
Hey,
Before you talk, we're going all of that.
she is definitely
What's your-
gorgeous, and she's
what's your
nice.
mid score?
She never switches up. She's
Here you go.
Oh, here you go.
I'm not trying to get with her. I'm
Okay.
not trying to
Okay.
get with her.
Okay.
I do think that she's an attractive young lady. I
Okay.
thought about Pastor Dr. Whitehead, when I first met her years ago. I mean, but she was married. I wasn't trying to give it either one of them. I mean, but I thought both of them were attractive.
You like a little chocolate and a little
That looks so
cream.
uncomfortable. I'm enjoying myself right now.
You like a little caramel and a little chocolate.
Thank you, John.
thanks,
Bro,
bro.
have a gay play in the background.
Thanks for calling,
Thanks
yo.
for calling, my guy.
Oh,
Thanks,
my
John.
goodness gracious,
So
that is
now we
so
know it's
funny.
not everybody has an opinion that Lisa is gorgeous.
Yep.
Yeah, he called it a
yeah,
But
She
you
winning.
preach. You preach
She
too good.
winning.
And that's why.
She winning.
If you would just be a bum preacher and not a good pastor, you could be married right now, and we can be all
Don't
over the
lessen your
world.
standards, Pastor.
You're so great. She's so great. That's what it is.
Shavana, he said, I
totally
sing
agree.
with
She
Shavana
said-
too.
I remember Shavana.
She
right
said
there.
Shavana
She
too.
said stay tuned.
Now I'm not playing with Shavana because Shavana's husband is my guy and he's a goon, so we ain't even joking like that. So you was out of pocket with that, homie. That's my guy. Her new husband is a murderer. It's like a joke.
That is too funny.
He like, oh,
Man, all right, y'all. So we got 2
Great
more
day.
minutes or a minute to go.
We'll take one call if you got
today
it.
was a great show.
we gotta have a
enjoyed
part
it.
3.
Yeah,
because I got
enjoyed
some
it.
other questions for some women.
It was good.
And I also got to talk about what I believe why black women don't submit to men. When men are not doing
You
right,
got
they're
a
not gonna submit
terrible
to them.
I don't know.
mindset
You need
about
therapy.
this. You need,
There's
you
a
need help.
consistent theme I've heard from black women
therapy.
saying
You
that
need, Brian needs therapy, Clay. I'm sorry.
saying that
Women are beneath him.
that
That's what the Bible says.
saying that the man has to be worthy of
Who did
submission.
it to you?
Y'all believe that?
You all right? What's the matter, Bookie?
You all right?
Failure did it to
Okay.
me. Failure did it to me. My own failure.
Do y'all believe that the man has to be worthy of submission? Cause I hear it a lot. I will submit if he was this. I will submit if he was that.
I think that I have a lot going for myself.
Okay.
And things that I'm still building. So for me to submit to anything will put what I've already am working on in danger. So I think that I would want to submit to someone who makes great decisions for his life before I can say, because submission is all about trust.
Right.
I'm released, like Dr. Ware said, I'm releasing my power and putting my power in your hands.
Yeah.
So if you don't manage your power, how can I trust you with what I've already had?
Submission should have demands.
Wow.
Can you fry chicken?
I think so.
Quotable.
I can fry chicken.
Submission should have
Is that
demands.
a power?
I was about to say, is that a
I
power?
don't care what company you can run. I want to know you can fry some chicken.
Can you fry some chicken?
Fry it outside and soft it inside.
Don't be submissive to the small
Burn it
meatloaf.
down to the bone.
That's not fair, Antoine. You can't.
All right, y'all. 2:31. Thank you so much for logging on to Thugs,
Antoine,
Thinkers, and Theologians.
Clay, Leroy, we
Yeah.
gotta welcome our friends.
Gotta sing
Okay.
You gotta sing this song,
sing it.
Siobhan.
Gotta sing it
You
with
ready?
us.
Gotta sing.
Hold on. We've been singing it. People don't really understand the story behind it.
So tell them the story behind
Okay.
it.
All
tell the
right.
story.
So a person of gospel fame, I'm not going to say his name, was dating someone, and what should we be saying? Okay, and he gave the person an STD. It's a gospel.
Gave the man
star.
a STD.
Yeah. So he caught him cheating on him, and he flew back to their home because they were living together. And as he was packing his bags, I'm leaving. Of course, you cheating again. I'm packing my bags. I'm going to leave. So he found medication and a prescription from the doctors for that STD.
This is the truth. This ain't
It's a true story. This actually happened. So he called his ex-boyfriend, lover,
and
said, "You gave me an STD. I saw the prescriptions and I saw the doctor's note, all that kind of stuff." And
he said,
his response was,
These are the risks that we take. Oh Lord, these are the risks that we take.
Yep.
Sing the verse, Clay.
"When things don't go as planned."
Lift your holy hands. Oh, these are the risks that we take.
So that's where that saying came from.
and we're gonna have a good time.
That came from that saying. He told the man, "These are the risks that we take." And hung
But
up
Clay
on him.
got real quiet. He said, "You gave me the." The phone went whoop whoop. He said, "Well,
These are the risks that we
Are the
take.
risks.
And hung up.
And hung up the
And the
phone.
Lord put that song in me and Clay Hart. We were in the car, and God dropped that song, and the power of God agreed with. These are the risks that we take. Oh Lord, these are the risks that we take. You better sing that verse, Clay.
When things don't go your way.
Just lift your hands and say,
Oh, these are the risks that we take.
thank you for watching."
At least his church gonna have a meeting. Say you can't go back on
Dr.
their show
Vaughn,
no
thank you
more,
so
man.
much.
Pastor
Kristen, thank you so much.
Kristen, I
Dr.
love y'all,
Weir,
man.
thank you so much.
Pastor Lisa, you got any
This
closing words?
is
for the
the
folks?
Thinkers and Theologians.
What you got? You close the show, Pastor.
Close the show out. Tell them what you want to say.
After all
I want
that
to thank
carrying
y'all
on.
for having us on today for this engaging dialogue. Just want to everybody stay safe, stay blessed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks so
Shavonna,
much.
thank you.
We'll see
Kristen,
you guys
thank you.
next Wednesday, 1 o'clock p.m.
Thank
No!
Oh, no,
Monday.
we Monday.
Next
Monday
Monday,
Night Raw,
y'all.
right?
Monday Night
Yeah.
Raw. Yep, we changed the time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Everybody
so what's the
work.
announcement right now so y'all know?
7:30.
We are now moving the show to Monday nights because of scheduling. People are going back to work. Clay's going back to work. We got some things moving on, so we must move our show to a evening show. We're moving to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
It's at 7:30 p.m., correct?
On Mondays, yeah.
On Mondays from here on out.
Monday Night
No
Raw,
more
Why
baby.
you say Clay going back to work? Like me and Leroy got
We've
jobs.
been working.
Hey,
We've been
y'all
working
had
though.
jobs.
There y'all go.
We already working.
There y'all go. There you go.
We already
Clay
working.
only got- right.
Tony
We
and
only got
Tony.
jobs.
Me, only me and Twan got
Oh,
jobs.
oh, what do you got job? Oh, Twan has a job. Oh, that's right. AS made.
I went to Baltimore City. I went to Baltimore City.
Paul was in school.
I got 3
Y'all may
jobs.
not be going back.
I got 4 jobs.
I mean, say, I went Baltimore
right
City,
now.
baby.
I got enough.
You always
All right,
think
y'all.
Clay's such integral and Clay has
Right.
to go back to
He's
work.
so
Man, that
humble.
man got y'all fooled.
He's so humble.
Man, that man is an actor, man. When these cameras go off, he gonna be ratchet. Everything's
Right.
so Washington. Some of my worst moments been instigated by this guy.
No.
Some things
go.
come like this.
I gave my,
Where you
I
at?
gave my
Marcus,
life in
Marcus, play the
service.
song,
to
DJ Marcus.
makes a mission life meatloaf.
I don't want to hear that, man. I don't hear that. Shout out to Chrissy's boyfriend who's probably watching. Much love, homie. Hope to meet you.
I need a change in my life.
You gotta turn that off.
There has to be a new way.
You gotta play my song so they can know why we say you so special. You gotta do it. I need you to do it one time. Ron been saying this all week long.
Hey, Chrissy's boyfriend. How you doing? Chrissy, all these sexy pictures Chrissy be putting up on like that. Got a boyfriend. I can tell. When she had no boyfriend, wasn't none of them pictures being. Oh, for real? Working at home on my grind, but now she got a boyfriend. Her lips off.
Chrissy always been popping.
She wearing glass slippers.
Melanin popping. Black girl magic. Everything that changed, baby. We thank y'all for watching. Don't forget Monday Night Raw starts next week.
7:30.
7:30 p.m. Facebook Live. First, thank you, Dr. Shavana. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Pastor.
Come closer. Oh yeah. Give me your hand and just follow me. Just follow me.
That was good.
As for the weary and burdened, so put your trust in me. Whoa, whoa. Everybody say we've been making love for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Put your hand in his hand. I just wait on it. I just wait on it.
Come a little closer.
He said, come closer to me. Come closer. Give me your hand and just follow me. I'll take you where you need to go. Rest for the weary and burdened. Oh, he got it. So put your trust in me. Don't look nowhere else. Closer to me. Just let your God down and give me your hand and just follow me. It's gonna be alright. Rest for the weary and burdened. You will never rest like this. So put your trust in me. Feels so good to trust in Him. Life is just sweeter.
Yo, it's been too long. Let's go.
I had people talk about all the things that I've done,
Yo, what happened to brotherly love? Come on.
but what I don't understand is that they did the same.
Man, that's so hypocritical.
I don't pay them no mind, 'cause I know I'm one of a kind.
Girl, you know you special.
I just keep my head high, always looking to the sky.
All right, let's go. Come on.
For He knows how to love me right.
Yo, the Father knows.
He knows how to treat me right.
He's the love of your soul.
He knows how to love me right.
Come on.
He knows how to treat me right.
Let's go back to the top one time. Come on.
I had people talk about all the things that I've done,
Yeah, that's just what they do. Let's go.
but what I don't understand is that they did the same.
But you know what? It don't even matter. You're still alive.
I don't pay them no mind, 'cause I know I'm one of a kind.
Guess what? I got some good news. Fellas, we special too. Let's ride.
I just keep my head high, always looking to the sky.
I'm not sure what you're doing right now, but put your hand back on the steering wheel. Let's go.
For He knows how to love me right.
He knows, y'all.
He knows how to treat me right.
When everybody leaves you,
He knows how to love me right.
he's the one constant, y'all.
He knows how to treat me right.
I need for everybody to know this. Come on.
He knows how to love me right.
This a new anthem. Come on.
He knows how to treat me right.
This feels real good, y'all.
He knows how to love me right.
He's the only one that love you right.
He knows how to treat me right.
Yo, clap your
He
hands.
knows how to love me right.
I don't see you clapping your hands
He
yet.
knows how to treat me right.
It's a party track while you ain't
He
moving.
knows how to love me right.
Be careful, buckle up.
He knows how to treat me right.
When all else fails, let's go. Hey, Orlando Castro, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, Baltimore, rest in peace. Black Lives Matter. Hey. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Oh, and all right.
brutality, we ain't standing for it. We out, but we here.